Okay.
And hopefully it works.
I see record. I think we're good to go.
Okay, and we'll... All yours, Andy.
Okay, thank you, past President Robin. Welcome, everybody. I think tonight we're going to have some exciting things about relating to membership. So just want to give a big welcome to Trish, our new membership chair. So Trish is going to, we're going to turn the meeting over to Trish in a minute, and Trish is going to tell us some of the wonderful objectives we have for membership and get your intake, and also pass it around for opinions, suggestions, thoughts, comments, and so forth. And also we'll be talking about this wonderful Generation XYZ initiative that I think Robin started and Jim started a while back. So Mike, I think you'll be interested in this. So we have, I think, a really good membership chair. You know, we've been touch and go the last couple of years. Robin will tell you. I know Robin did a lot of it, and I took it over for a while, but we have to really, again, I know Robin hates to hear it, but give Robin a lot of thank yous for all he's done, bringing a lot of new members into the club over the last couple of years and really staying on them and nurturing them and mentoring them. So I know, Trish, this is something that you'll be working on. We also talked about a mentoring initiative that we'll be working with membership, and that's something that is in discussion process right now that we hope to have implemented in the near future. So I know you're going to hear more from some of our state people like Robin and Jim, and some of other Rotarians. So with that being said, let's turn it over to you, Trish, because I know you really wanted to get this started. So I'll turn it over to you. Before we do that, since you know, we have a few new people here, let's go and do a round robin, because I know Trish and I were supposed to talk, we didn't get to, so we're doing it tonight. So let's go around and who we are, how long we've been with Rotary, and just a little bit about this. So I'll start. I'm President Andy. I think I'm calling myself now, Robin, right? ePres Andy. And I've been with the club going now on a little over a year and a half. I was late to a meeting, so Robin asked me to be president. That's what happens when you come late to an eClub meeting, right, Robin? I know it happens in the ground meetings, but also virtually online too. So I'm definitely your president for through 2017-18 year. And it's great to be here and a great challenge. I've been with Rotary on and off for about 36 years. I've been in 3 districts. This is my second stint as a Rotary president. I've also been an assistant governor 4 years in 6990, and have been a membership chair, worked on foundations. I'm an RLI, a discussion leader. I've been a conference chair, and I think the list goes on and on. So I love Rotary. I've been doing it a long time. I love the online, our virtual setup, and I think it's something that will be around for a long time to be. Certainly what I see happening with other things. I'm also a professor in business and marketing, and I teach online a lot. So this is a great venue for me. So it's great to be here. And I love our year this year. I love having all of you with us, several of you on the board. And I think we have a lot of great things to do, and continue the challenge and keep it running, getting a lot more members, more people involved, and certainly learning what it is to be not only a Rotarian, but I think an online eClub Rotarian. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the illustrious past president of the Rotary eClub of Southeast USA and the Caribbean, Mr. Robin Foley.
Oh my God. Well, I think I've chatted with everybody, so everybody knows a little bit about my background. About 20 years in Rotary, 10, and then a lapse because I couldn't make meetings, and I found the eClub, and here I am. for the last about 10 years. I think it was 2006 when I joined. And I was a very quiet member for quite a while because I was busy. But we've got a lot of new things coming up, and if we can make this thing pop, it'll be great. Okay, go to Jim Trammell.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm muting in between because of the music in the background here at Hardee's. About 10 years in Rotary. This is my second year in the E Club. I think my real claim to fame in this meeting is my involvement with S4TL. Happy to be here. Hope we get some things done. I'll follow up on what Robin said. I can dream real big. I think that we could end up with 1,000 members in a special membership group in a Rotary Club that we created over a few years, just building on this internet thing. These kids want to be Rotarians, but they can't afford to pay $100, $150 a quarter, and they don't want to have to be locked into a land-based club. So let's talk it up, see what we can get going, and I'll.
Okay, we got to Ray Cornelius.
Yeah, I'm the treasurer, and I've been a Rotarian probably longer than any of you. I'm embarrassed to say how long, but I was a long-term member in New York State, past president of a club up there. Retired to Florida about 10 years ago here on the East Coast. We call it the Space Coast, near Melbourne. Joined a local Rotary Club, and that dissolved after a few years. So I joined the E Club, I think in 2013, 2014. And again, I think, as Andy said, I probably was late to a meeting and I wound up being treasurer. And I've been doing that for about 3 years.
3 years, more like nearly 4 years.
It feels like 25 years, Robin, but yeah.
Cool. Okay, Mike Harden.
Well, greetings from Panama City.
Yeah.
I have been a Rotarian for right about 15 years. I started in a club in Pensacola and moved to a different club. Started at Pensacola North and actually went to Cordova, which is where I ran into Robin, much to my chagrin, but you know, you do what you do, and there's Robin around. So I had the privilege of being part of a very active morning club, and I've been in the best position in a Rotary Club, which is past president. After a little bit of time, I went up to Sewanee, Tennessee. My wife was doing some graduate work up there, and it was part of the joint club, Sewanee Mont Eagle, which is not too far from where the main attraction will be occurring up in there come Monday with the eclipse. So I'm excited to be a part of this group. It was a great opportunity when Robin and I spoke about exploring this. So I would agree that with Jim that there's some extraordinary opportunities for us all, particularly in growing the club, and particularly growing the club with some folks who would be more interested in the connectivity and the great things that Rotary does, and less interested of the weekly going to the same place just because of the work that they do. So I'm excited to be here, and like a couple of you had mentioned, that you never want to be late for a meeting because you might end up in some type of a position. So I actually dialed in around noon local time, so I've been waiting since noon for everybody to get there. So it's good to be with you.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. And we'll go down to Trish, who can give us a background and get right into it then, Trish.
You bet. So I'm Trish Bizzoni, and I've been a Rotarian for about 5 years. I learned about Rotary through a gentleman by the name of George Motrin, and I met him in a networking environment, and he mentioned something to me and said, "Have you ever heard of Rotary?" And I had no idea what it was. And then even after he explained it to me, I had no idea what it was. And then he said, I think you should just come to a meeting to see what it is. So I went to a meeting, and then I still had no idea what it was. So I was really confused for a while of what Rotary really was. It took me, I'm usually not too much of a slow learner, but I've really had a super slow start in Rotary. I've held the position of membership chair a couple of years for the Wesley Chapel Sunrise Club. And I think it was such a small group. I'm trying to figure out what it was that had me be so unaware truly of like Rotary International and just overall what it was. I was in a very welcoming club, but there wasn't a lot of talk about what Rotary is. There was just Rotary doing what Rotary does. And it was a Friday morning meeting with, you know, the process of a Rotary meeting. And at the end of the meeting, we would talk about projects, but sometimes I didn't even know what the projects were we were involved in. And then this thing called Rotaract came up, and I had no idea what that was. So I really just, I usually am somebody pretty inquisitive, and I ask a lot of questions by nature. But this time around, I just wanted to sit back and observe. I really felt like it was something special, and I wanted to learn it kind of organically. And so it took me a while to really embrace Rotary and for Rotary to embrace me. And after a couple of years, I realized that I really wasn't serving Rotary the way I needed to serve Rotary. And I got out of the club because I wasn't attending the way I needed to, and I just wasn't taking it seriously. I'm going to just be really blunt. I didn't get value from Rotary, so I didn't put value in. And that seems kind of counterintuitive to what Rotary is, because it's all about service. But I also think that when we are bringing people into Rotary, we have to help people who have no idea what it is really truly understand that it's not just a bunch of people getting together for breakfast once a week and, you know, doing a pledge of allegiance to the flag and a four-way test, and help people understand at a different level what it really looks like when we're out in the community and we're doing the things that we do. I got invited to go to different events, and every time something came up, I had a work conflict. And so I was just such a slow starter. And from what I've learned after having been in Rotary for 5 years, I'm not the only one. That there's a lot of people that say that. So there's this young woman, her name is Ashley. I'm sorry, I'm going to bounce a little bit, but I'm currently, instead of going to the Wesley Chapel Club that's around the corner from the house, I'm driving 45 minutes to go to the one up in Brooksville. And Ashley is a young woman who is very active in the community up in Hernando County, and all of her friends are in the Brooksville Club. And so she goes to that club when she wants to tap into a Rotary project and serve, but she doesn't have the money to join Rotary. So they're constantly asking her to participate, but she just didn't have the funds and still doesn't. And it's an ongoing thing. It's not like you pay it once and you're done. And so she really loves, she's got a she's a servant-hearted leader, but that's the extent of it for her. So I asked her if she'd ever been to Rotary International after having her participate in Rotary for a couple of years, and she said she didn't even know that there was a website. So this is the kind of like things that as I sit back and I'm listening and I'm learning, I'm seeing we're really, as an organization, we're missing the mark in so many different areas. And so I took some time to share with her what Rotary is. It just so happened that when I was at the Brooksville meeting, I did a presentation at the Brooksville meeting, and Ashley happened to come. And it was also the time that Allison, who is an S4TL grad that the Brooksville Club sponsored, got up to speak to talk about what her experience at S4TL was. So it was just like a trifecta of beautiful Rotary possibility for the future coming together in one room. Before Robin and I had even talked about this, before I started really thinking about the project, it all was just kind of coming together. So what I kind of would like to do is hear from everybody else what their experience of new members coming into their Rotary is, or what it was like for, well, I mean, you guys have been Rotarians for so long. I'm kind of like the newbie in the group with 5 years. So what's it like when you bring new people into your club prior to getting into the E-Club? Do you guys experience the same stuff?
Robin, you want to start?
Our experience of bringing new people in.
Yeah, but not into the E-Club, but actually into your physical club. Like, how long does it take a newbie to really grasp Rotary in your clubs?
It's, you know, I think you've got to go through, somehow get through the club atmosphere. It's difficult. Like we've had people join us, and maybe I'm going off track a bit on this, but we've had people, outsiders, non-Rotarians, join us, and they didn't last more than 6 or 9 months because we couldn't mentor them. It was very hit or miss.
Do you mean, Robin, do you mean joining E-Club or joining a brick and mortar club?
Sorry, I'm not hearing too well.
Do you mean when they joined the E-Club or a brick and mortar club?
This is for the E-Club.
Okay, so you're saying they're not lasting more than 6 to 9 months. My question is actually for all of us who, prior to E-Club, have been members of brick and mortar club, what was it like for people coming in? Because if we're experiencing not being able to hold on to people in E-Club for 6 to 9 months, you know, what's the experience of people when they're coming into a brick and mortar club? Because I think if there's just a missing in that, and if we can get to the missing, both in the E-Club and the brick and mortar, we can maybe mentor around the missing.
Well, the E-Club can offer them flexibility if we can do it right. The E-Club can offer these youngsters the flexibility that they're used to in their everyday life. The people that joined us were older, and some had issues with being online, apart from anything else, but they weren't aware of the Rotary culture. But if we're looking at people who are in S4TL or coming out of Rotaract, then they have some experience of Rotary, and I think it would be easier for us, and we'll be giving them a platform to do what they want to do, and the flexibility.
Robin, you made a great point, Trish, that with the new generation, I think Allie was very good with this. Allie's not on tonight, but and Allie's, I think, going to be doing a lot with our communication and public relations. But we were talking at our last meeting 2 weeks ago, at our board meeting, and tell me if I'm wrong, Robin. And I was saying, you know, the idea of writing a note to incoming members or whatever, and thanking them. And Allie said, well, that's great, but, you know, you need to send them an email, and you need to, everything's online and social media. And I suppose I'm from old school. But my point is that these young people, you know, generation millennials and Generation Z, everything is computer. So everything's social media. So they get it better than anybody. And they don't know, not that they don't know what Rotary is, but most cases they haven't. But if, you know, their first instance is getting involved online. And so this will be a great connection for them. And I think it's going to challenge them. It's going to keep them. And I think they'll bring in new people. They'll get to mature and so forth, whether they stay with us. Hopefully they will. Later on, maybe they will go to a brick and mortar club, and that's okay if they move or things like that. But I think Allie had a great point, and several of you did too, and Ray and everybody, and Mike, tell me if I'm wrong, and Jim. But I think this is a perfect fit for this new generation. I mean, I teach these kids every day, and you know, they don't want to do anything that's not online. It's immediate gratification, streaming video, Snapchat, you know, YouTube, everything. So we're exactly what they want, and we have what Rotary is, and we have it, you know, to get to them. And now we just have to mentor them, show them what obviously meetings are, group projects are, international projects, what we do, and get them that way. So I think they're, as Robin kind of said, and Jim, you know, they're ripe for the picking. They're very smart, but this is who they are. And I think we're really the only kind of model that will keep them interested for now. And again, if we can do it where they don't have to pay too much, I think, and I agree with Jim and Trish, I mean, you know, not that we're getting 1,000 new members, but I think we really can do so well with this that, tell me if I'm wrong, in the next year or so, even quicker, that we'll have a whole article just on this, what we're doing in the Rotarian. I think that's how strong. I agree with you all on that. So I think what we have is exactly for this younger generation. I'm going to throw it back to you, Trish. Anybody else wants to make another comment?
For sure, Andy. I'm sorry, I went down the wrong path. I was leaning toward mentorship first. And
okay.
So with where you're speaking from, I've got a couple of questions for everybody. So when I had put together a little document and sent it out, I was really thinking, because the low-hanging fruit right now seems to be we can get a very quick list from S4TL of people that are, you know, that have gone through the program over the last 2 years. So I was thinking about looking to S4TL first and doing a very small pilot program, working with very, very closely knit with S4TL. That was kind of what I had in my mind. But then when I saw Jim's email come out about tapping into Rotaract, that put me in a different mindset. So what I was envisioning was, as I was mentioning, this young gal, her name is Ashley, and I think she would be an excellent candidate to lead the efforts that we're talking about, to actually bridge the gap between, so that she can go out and work with the S4TL people coming in, or Rotaract, wherever we pull our list from and wherever we do that from, that I would be happy to mentor her, and that maybe there's some other people in the club would mentor her, and that we can have her start to learn about Rotary from us, and then we can start to learn from her what the younger generation is looking for. I think she's maybe 26 or 27. So I was thinking about proposing Ashley to be the member that might come in and help spearhead this, and she's somebody that I've been mentoring over the last couple of years in leadership anyway. So it's a pretty neat connection that I have with her, and she's on board and interested and ready to dig in and roll. So I really would kind of like to present that to all of us to see if that's a place that we want to get started and then start building from there.
I think it sounds great. I love it. Robin?
Yep, I'm wide open.
Jim, Ray?
I'm wide open. The mentoring will be key. The number that we would bring in would be key as well. So, as we discussed earlier, we don't really need 50 Gen Zs coming into the club. We probably need to say 25% of the club, or whatever. 25% of the members have some kind of, as you said, Andy, to have some type of balance. The S4TL, having seen the type of training those guys go through, there's nothing like it anywhere in Rotary. And if we were working the pilot study from their contact lists, and we got 6 or 7 of those, I've no doubt if there were, that they were still had an interest in Rotary, that they would be ideal. And then we would just have to find Rotaract candidates in our local areas. It would be nice to have it spread out a bit rather than all in one area. But I think whatever works.
Robin, does everybody know what the S4TL is? I don't, Mike, do you? The acronym? Robin, do you just want to tell us real quick?
Jim.
In case everybody. Jim?
Yeah, okay. First off, Trish, let me clarify something because I think it's important. Allison was not a Brooksville S4TL student. She was an E-Club S4TL student. She was our member. We happened to solicit her through Brooksville, and she was actually the Earl Hale S4TL student. Earl was a former S4TL volunteer who passed away 2 years ago in the club, E-Club, and had been an E-Club member. S4TL stands for Seminar for Tomorrow's Leaders. In a nutshell, it's a 7-day program for what are called rising juniors, which are students who finish their junior and be seniors next year. There are 160 of those individuals invited. Of those individuals, the following year, 18 are invited to come back and work directly with the next group of 160. From that group of 18, which we call red shirts, 10 are invited to come back. The red shirts would have just graduated from their senior year, having been junior between their junior and senior year the year before. The white shirts, 10 of these are invited, and these are students who were yellow shirts 2 years ago, red shirts the year before, have just finished their freshman year in college and come back to do some administrative work. And then out of that 10 people, 2 people are invited to come back 2 years later. So just to nutshell that, the group of people that we had, say, from this year was 160 people who will be seniors in high school next year. And so at this point, are not our interest group. 18 of them would be people who just graduated from high school, haven't gotten to college yet. Probably a group that we would wait to look at. The group of 10 white shirts who just finished their freshman year might be a target group. And of course, the 2 students who this year had finished their junior year and would be moving on their senior year I saw them on Saturday at a board meeting, this S4TL board meeting, and they are exceedingly excited to become participants. Also, one of the non-Rotarian volunteers who is 32 years old, who was there this year, his father was active in S4TL for 20 years, and he had gone through the program when he was that high school and early college age, and he's thrilled with the idea of maybe joining. So, Robin, did you share the bullet points I sent out?
Yeah.
With that, okay. I'm going to go on a little bit here. My concept is that we target people between the age of 18 and 35 who are Rotary alumni, particularly target the Rotaract students, and have a special class of membership with the understanding that when they turn 35, if they hang around till they're 35, we're going to kick them out. But and the idea is that we get these kids, particularly the Rotaract kids. Anybody comes out of S4TL and goes to college is going to get into Rotaract if there's one available. So if you get an S4TL student who's going to University of Florida or going to Purdue or Duke or what have you, with their experience with S4TL, and they show up in a Rotaract club, and we've invited them to be a member of our club with a special classification, I think will be like Johnny Appleseed, spreading these things here and there. I had on that list I sent out, I suggested that we have a charter group of not more than 10 and probably 6, 8, 10 members, including this, Ashley, and get them in and get them together. And I think that there are 2 things. First off, we ought to have a member of our club mentoring each individual. But I think we'll find that these kids will mentor each other, and we'll see. We got to partly sit back and see something evolve, motivated by them. I think they'll be coming to us and saying, "Hey, this is what we need to do next electronically to communicate." Did everyone get the many bullet points I sent out? So I won't go over them if they did.
Yep, great bullet point.
Okay, then you know about where I'm at on this. Like I say, I have several people who, and yeah, I'd like to start this thing not just with some kids who are juniors and seniors in college, but with an Ashley that's in their mid-20s, and God, I just lost a name. David, who's the son of a former founder of S4TL, who's 30, and I told him, I said, you know, you want to get in for a couple of years? He said, I'd love to. I said, you understand that at 35, you got to move on. He said, I just want to get involved. And he's another one of these people that can't get to a meeting, land-based meeting on a regular basis, and is still getting a family together. You know, $125, $150 a quarter is a lot of money to some of these people. I will hand this back to you, Andy, unless someone has a question.
Ray,
Hey, I have a comment real quick for you guys, if you don't mind. Hey, Jim, would you be willing to, like, have you and I work together to get an outline and a base for this and start collecting people and start having those conversations and then be able to come back to the next meeting with, you know, what we've accomplished?
Well, let me say, maybe not the next meeting. I got a pretty full calendar for the next 3 weeks. But do you realize that you and I are neighbors?
No, where are you?
Oh, I'm north of you. You're in Wesley Chapel, and I'm in Ridge Manor. We live about 30 miles apart.
Oh, that's perfect. I
had already pretty well figured out that you and I were going to be drinking coffee somewhere and shoving notes back and forth across the table. Yeah, I live about 30 miles. I go to the San Antonio club, which is evening club on Tuesdays, and I also am a former member of the Brooksville club.
Perfect.
So we'll figure something out. Yeah, just shoot me an email and we'll start to get a conversation going.
Wow, that's a great connection.
So what do we need to do to get this all to say yay and then start to dive in and build it?
Well, are you asking me or are you asking Andy because he's the boss?
Anybody.
I'm not the boss.
I would suggest, quite honestly, that you and I get together, maybe at some point do a smaller Zoom meeting, you, I, Rob, and Allie, and Andy, and start to flesh this out. You know, get some ideas on what we're really going to do. To do this in the end, we will have to create an amendment to the bylaws to create a special membership. I would say that when we do that, we'll do a fairly few words, special membership that basically says, and the members in this class will do what the board tells them to. And then we can create rubrics about what we expect from them as a board, rather than have to amend our board bylaws real regularly. But I think we need to figure out three things. How many members do we think we want to have in this initial group? What we're going to require of them, and then get a short list of people that we talk to and say, hey, would you want to not just be a member, but be a charter member willing to do extra work to make this thing fly? You know, in other words, you're Ashley. If she's excited about working hard, fine. I've got 2 kids that were with me this past S4TL who are just chomping at the bit to do this idea. Let's find 3 or 4 other people and put a group together, get them into the club, and see what we can do. Does that make sense?
It sure does. Can I get everybody's permission to bring Ashley in and get her as the first member and start the process with her tomorrow? I'm going to see her at the Brooksville meeting, and I wanted to have a conversation with the Brooksville folks to see, you know, because they've kind of had their eye on her for a while, so I want to kind of smooth some things over as we bring her into the E-Club. But the other part of this is that what I would personally like to do, this is just something for me, I want to actually buy her first-year membership. She can afford it. She doesn't have any problem with it, but I'd like to buy her first-year membership for her, so that this was really a gift for her, to give her an ability to really develop her leadership skills. And so I would just like to be not only her sponsor, but pay for her membership coming in too. So can I get that ball rolling tomorrow?
I think that's well. Thank you so much for doing that. That's very nice, Trish. Quick question, and I'll throw this to Robin, and also Ray. I know Ray's very quiet in the background. Ray, I'd love to get your, because you are our financial guru, any thoughts about the finances with this and stuff like that that might come to mind? Because, you know, a lot of this is finances, so I'd love to get your opinion. Robin, do we need to do anything posting this to the board? Any kind of approval with what Trish wants to do and get a yay, nay? What's your thought on that?
I think we just, Trish can make a proposal and post it, or she can pass it to me and we'll post it to the board meeting and ask
let me get in here.
Sorry, just a minute.
Okay.
We have a proposal for associate membership that was developed, a kind of a set of bylaws for it, which I had sent out, and I'll send them out again. We can use that as a basis for going forward with this. I think we're all agreed on the kind of broad outline of where we're going, that we probably take in 6 or 7. And Ray can correct me if I'm wrong. $35 a quarter would be fine to cover the district and RI dues and the RI magazine and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If Trish can make a proposal, but I think we're early yet even.
Yeah, a couple thoughts. Yes, 35. I read Jim's outline, and he was right on. It's about $35 a quarter for per member for all of the RI dues and the district dues. About 1/3 of what we pay per quarter. So 35 is about right. The other thought I had is that before we begin taking people, accepting members, we need to redo the bylaws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'd be glad to try, try to amend those.
Trish, let me jump in here real quick. Your suggestion is very honorable, Trish. The problem is that if you brought Ashley, if you propose Ashley to membership tomorrow, I'll vote yes, but her dues will be $100 a quarter. And I don't know if you understand it until we establish.
No, I understand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, then bring her in. Then bring her in.
No,
yeah, we can use another good member.
Hang on, I got you, and no, I don't want to do it that way.
Okay, I figured that you were not understanding that until we put together an idea, this concept of what the special membership is, and get it through the board, we can't invite people in. By the way, as we create this, one of the things we will not include in the amendment of the bylaws is how much it costs. We leave that at the discretion of the board, and that way, when you decide to go from $35 to $40, you don't have to go back and amend your bylaws.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at the bylaws again, because most bylaws, there's a procedure to amend the bylaws. And
absolutely.
I'll have to take a look at what kind of notice and
10 days.
Board approval, etc. So it'll take a little while.
Okay, so in the meantime, what I'll do with Ashley is I'm going to give her some homework of things to learn about Rotary and where to go to learn that information about Rotary. And then I'm going to just start the dialogue with her, and I'm going to start the conversation with Brooksville about what we're looking to do, so that we have some forward motion for her without her actually coming into the club yet until we get our bylaws done. Is that okay?
That sounds fine.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
And maybe
Cool.
Jim, Trish, maybe we can get an action plan for this. I know we're talking about amending the bylaws, but also an action plan with what pursuant to that being done. You guys moving along with this? I mean, what's our time frame? Are we talking about a month, 2 months, 3 months? so we all have a little bit of an idea. So maybe as you put this together, we can have an action plan. You know what's happening, and then get that to us too. I think that would be very helpful.
And I think I'll go ahead and put some of the mentoring concepts into whatever that action plan is.
Okay. Mike, I know you're quiet and you're new, whatever, I know you're kind of taking it in, but, you know, I'd love to hear from everybody and thoughts, comments, anything, you know, how you feel about it, you know, what your thoughts are, because, you know, you're with us, you're part of the family, and you probably have some great things that if I didn't ask, we'll never know. So, you know, tell us what's on your mind.
It's listening, I was looking on the other screen, if you will, on getting a little more familiar with some of the pieces you were discussing about. And Robin, you may, at first I was getting it confused with what is RILA, which we did up in 6940, but yeah, I'm on the same page now. The part that helped me the most when I was a younger person and starting in Rotary was truly the mentoring part. If it had not been for someone, and it was actually a couple of people who connected with me regularly, and of course that was in a brick and mortar environment, I would have never made the step to getting to the Rotary Leadership Institute. And like many folks, I joined Rotary in 2002, and I became a Rotarian in 2005 after going through the Leadership Institute. So I really think that's important, and I think any and all of us can play a role in mentoring anybody, regardless of their age. I think that the one point I think I would offer, which I'm sure you've talked about, is we're saying that this is a great platform for the millennia, that age group. It is if being a Rotarian or a form of Rotarian is something they want to do. If you understand what I'm saying, it's not a cattle call, I hope, because I think we'll be disappointed in the outcomes. But it makes a lot of sense. You folks have done a lot of things well before me joining in this meeting, so I'm excited to keep learning.
No, great. Thank you, Mike. That's very, very nice. Robin, I see you thinking and you're clutching your little chin, but Jim's got a thought.
Okay, Mike, RILA is another activity which creates what are known as Rotary alumni. So the people that were coming out of those operations also would be people that we would be soliciting for this program. It just happens that S4TL is something I got my hands on, so I got a list of names.
Right.
But anyone.
Yeah, I understood. When I snuck over to the other screen and was refreshing my memory on these acronyms, it all came back. So I'm with you. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
And one real quick question. Trish, did you say that Ashley had been a Rotaractor?
Nope. She has not got any prior Rotary affiliations other than just visiting the Rotary Club over in Brookville.
Then, as I understand the concept that we are working on here, she would not be allowed to join at the special rate because this is for alumni. Alumni are defined as those people who are not Rotarians that have been part of Rotarian activities. Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense, but I don't think we should put that restriction on what we're looking to do. I think maybe we could do that later down the road, but would an S4TL person be considered an alumni?
Anyone who has gone through a Rotary paid for activity is an alumni, and that is what Rotary International is targeting at this time. Those people that we have touched their lives financially but have then let get away. We're trying to not let them get away.
But here we have somebody who is interested in Rotary.
Here's my question then. How can we bring Ashley in?
She joins like any other person who wants to be a Rotarian. She makes an application to a club, any club, gets accepted after 10 days, and becomes a member. There's no age limit on the Rotary.
No, that's not going to happen for her. She can't afford it. That was the whole point of bringing her in at the lower rate.
Yeah, and that's the purpose of creating this category. I never thought of restricting it, but I was looking at Rotaractors coming out. But if you have somebody who is in that age group and in the same kind of situation and has an interest in Rotary, I don't think I'd be turning them down. We just have to make a way, I would think.
Well, maybe we can get some clarification. Either RI, have that RI contact Robin, and also we can always CC Karen and Governor Perry, just to make sure, you know, we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. And Jim makes a good point. I mean, we get through all this, we do everything, we think we've done everything right, we've done, you know, amended our bylaws, and then they come back and say, well, you know, they are alum or this or that, and you can't do it. What? No, you can't do it. So you have to change it. So, and after all that work. So I think, you know, we should look for the clarification. I mean, maybe it's something, you know, that our RI has looked for, and, you know, they change a lot of things all the time. And by the time we get it, it's a bit later on. So I think, you know, we need to perhaps let them know what we're doing and look for clarification from them, how we might be able to do it.
Yep.
Thank you, Jim. Nope, I didn't.
Thanks,
touch
Jim.
that piece.
I'm not sure what you're thanking me for, but you're very welcome.
That's a big piece to know.
Well, yeah, and I'll address the Andy's concerns. The Council on Legislation in 2016 allowed clubs to create special classifications of membership, and basically without restrictions at our RI level. We could create this thing and allow people who are not alumni in. I am just strongly opposed to doing that personally, because the whole concept of me is to get these people who are alumni, who have already been served by Rotary, to come into Rotary. We have a facility for other people who are not alumni to join, and that's general membership. I appreciate that some people find $100 a quarter restrictive, but you know, my thought is it ought to be alumni, at least in the beginning, until we get things. I can find you 20 or 30, 40 alumni that would join if you had a slot for that. And right now we're talking about limiting it to 8 or 10. I would prefer to keep it as people who have been members of Rotaract or S4TL or exchange students on Rotary scholarships. But those are, quite honestly, just my opinions.
Okay. Definitely food for thought. Robin, what about, you know, we have talked about, you know, the associate membership. I think we, Peter is at that status now. You know, can we open it up anymore? I mean, that's certainly a reduced rate. You know, clubs have a percentage of members with that, or with certain circumstances or whatever. So is that something that could be for, you know, even start for 1 or 2, you know, for this one girl who's, you know, Trista is going to come, going to give her a lot of work. She's really a spearhead. Could this be a status for her?
Yeah, we could. As I think Jim said earlier, that I'm not up to speed on this, but he said that the clubs can set any type of membership they wish.
Let me jump in here again, because I have an answer for Trish that I think that the rest of us here on the board would agree to. first off, you mentioned Andy, you mentioned Peter's status. Peter, if I am not mistaken, is an honorary member. I think we granted him that's. I
Did
think
we give him
granted
honorary or
that.
associate?
Well,
Robin,
we don't have an associate.
Okay, it's honorary, Robin?
We have to set
Yeah,
up.
he's an honorary member.
We never put it.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
so I stand corrected. Okay, thank you.
But here is my suggestion.
Okay.
I suggest that, Tricia, are you on the board? I don't even keep track of those things. Are you on the board?
I am.
Yeah.
Would you make a proposal to the board that your friend Ashley be an honorary member? If you did, I would second it.
Yeah, I make that proposal.
Well,
Okay.
we're not, this is not a board meeting, but at our next board meeting, if you made that proposal, I would second it, and I have a sneaking hunch that others would join you in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
Yeah.
thought.
Okay, that'll handle Ashley. But I've got
That
a scenario.
solves the problem perfectly, I think.
Trish, don't tell her anything. Don't tell her anything. Give her the homework and everything, and you know, keep her at bay. And you know,
Okay.
this will be something very good for her. But let's wait till reach out and so on before we do that. But I think that could answer certainly all our.
Also,
Robin?
That handles the situation with Ashley, but I have a scenario for you. I have a client here in Wesley Chapel that has a program called their CDP program. It's called the Career Development Program, and they bring college grads through a management program, and I'm doing some leadership development training for them. And when I talk with them about Rotaries, they're real excited about it, but none of them have any money because they've just relocated, and they've got student loans that they want to pay, and they're not 35. They're somewhere between, let's say, 23 and 26, and they're excellent candidates, and they're already in a leadership mindset, but they have not been exposed to Rotary. So is that a second phase of a program? Or I just see that if we only open it up to people that we've already been in service to, we're missing a very large group of people that already have leadership qualities, that are already the emerging leaders in their generation. So it's just something to think about. It's a scenario to put out there, because I was kind of getting real excited. I've got like a whole bunch of people that don't even know what Rotary is that I could bring in through the E-Club, so that they have a whole new experience of Rotary as an E-Club member versus a whole brick and mortar experience to begin with. So it's just something to think about.
Okay. Well, why don't we do step one? I mean, I love all this. I think we're going to get we're going to go far and deep, and we're going to be very proud. But I think let's do a little crawling before we walk, and start this first process. You know, we have to do the bylaws. We have to do our action plan. We can wait until the board meets for the honorary.
we can.
And get moving with that. Robin?
Yeah, we can do the honorary. I'll set up a thread in this month's board meeting.
Okay.
And or if Trish, if you can send me the motion, okay, tonight, I'll post it in the board meeting. And then
What do you want me to send you, Robin? You cut out on me.
yeah, if you can send me a motion this evening to propose Ashley for honorary membership,
Okay.
I will insert that in a thread in the board, a separate thread in the board meeting this month. And Jim, you can just keep an eye out so that when it comes up, you can second it, and I will vote for it, and I'm sure Andy will.
I will.
I will circulate it to the other board members, and we can have a vote on this by.
And we have Ray.
Yeah, I'll vote for it.
So, I mean, I think that would be good. I think that'll get us started. And then I think these other things, as we check, you know, check with RI, the district and things like that, what we're doing. You know, we have some different groups here that Jim's thinking about. I think Trish is spot on with all these people. But, you know, we don't want to get so bombarded that we have 100 people that, you know, then we have to have a committee to go over everybody and this and that and so forth and so on, and not have enough mentors. And I definitely think we need to, you know, crawl with this and build on it and whatever. Plus, we have to get everybody to hopefully, and it's an easy thing to get, you know, certainly our membership and other board members not here tonight to buy into it. You know, Robin's laughing. We'll have one or two who Robin will have something to say, right? And that's fine. But I think I think this is great. I think this is just a new chapter and get us to a new plateau. But let's go small. Rome wasn't built on one day, and the Rotary E-Club of Southeast USA and the Caribbean wasn't built in one day. You know, maybe it was, but I wasn't around then. But I think it's really great. This is great. I mean, I'm really excited. I even see Jim smiling through his Hardee's drink, and even Robin's little glitch on his face got better. It's now all cleared up, and Michael's smiling, and Trish, I'm sure, is too. So a little laughter here. We've gone a long way, and so forth. And before we go tonight, Robin, you are leading us with the four-way test. So before we go, we didn't do that last time, so you're up. Trish, anything else you want to say? You know, so get that to Robin. We'll put it on to Robin. Will put it up in the board meeting. We'll get that approved, and then we can get our first young lady on board, and then we can do the action plan and move on. And I think in a month or two, we should start on our way and get the race going.
Yep, you bet. Thank you for the conversation tonight.
Oh, thank you. And again, Trish, thanks for stepping up. We're all really excited, and thanks for your commitment and time. And it's great to meet you and be a part of it. So that's great. Robin, I think you might have something to say. I think I see you twitching over there.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm nodding in agreement.
Okay.
Cool.
Mike, anything you want to say? You're good to go?
No, we're good to go.
And Ray, can I hear from our statesman? Ray, how are you?
Yeah. No, we're good to go. Good meeting.
Okay. And Jim, anything? Your last slip of the Hardee's drink, and we're good to go?
They told me they'd refill my coffee, and that's all that matters.
Then you're going to be there for a while. Okay, guys.
And Robin, I'll send you the address up here, so we'll look for you Monday.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, Robin, you want to lead us on the four-way test, unless you have anything else?
Gentlemen, are the things we say, do, and think first?
There you go. First.
Is it the truth?
Truth.
Second.
Right.
Is it fair to all
Fair to all concerned.
Third. Build goodwill and better friendships.
There you go. Thanks, Mike. And fourth.
Be beneficial
Be
to all.
beneficial.
To all concerned. Great. There you go. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon. And thanks for the great meeting. And everybody, have a great solar eclipse. Talk to you soon. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.